You made dozens of decisions today, decisions you were completely sure about, like what to eat, what to wear, whether to reply to a message or ignore it. Maybe you judged someone in the first 5 seconds of meeting them. Maybe you defended an opinion in an argument. And you probably had reasons, good logical reasons. At least that's what it felt like. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Your brain didn't give you the real reason. It gave you a story, a neat, convincing story, but still just a story. Today we are going to look at how your brain tricks you, how it explains things that it doesn't actually understand, how it protects beliefs that aren't true, and how it makes you feel absolutely certain about something completely wrong. In 1962, two scientists, Stanley Sector and Jerome Singer, ran a strange experiment. They injected people with adrenaline, but they told some of them it was just vitamins. Nothing special, nothing unusual, just vitamins. Then they placed each person in a room with someone else, except the person wasn't another participant, it was an actor. The actor had a job. In one room, they acted extremely happy, in another, extremely angry, and something weird happened. The people who didn't know they had adrenaline in their system started feeling whatever the actor was feeling. Happy room, they felt happy. Angry room, they felt angry. Their hearts were already racing, their bodies were already buzzing, the adrenaline was already there. But the brain doesn't like unexplained feelings, it wants a reason. So it looked around the room, found an answer, made up a story, and believed it completely. As the experiment reveals something important, your brain doesn't just explain reality, it edits it. This brings us to the first lie, confirmation bias. Your brain already has opinions about politics, about your ex, about money, about whether you are a good driver or not. And once it decides what it believes, it starts protecting that belief aggressively. And it becomes a filter. Evidence that agrees with you, come on in. Evidence that challenges you, not interested. Studies shows that when people read the same news articles, those who already support the topic rate it accurate, those who oppose it call it biased. Same words, completely different perspective. But why the brain does something like this? Because changing your mind is expensive. It takes efforts, it creates uncertainty, and uncertainty feels dangerous. Because being right feels safe, so your brain chooses safety over truth. And here's the really strange part, the smarter you are, the better you can become at defending bad ideas. Because intelligence doesn't just help you find answers, it helps you build explanations. Explanations that sound logical and alright, but can be completely wrong. Sometimes intelligence doesn't remove bias, it just makes bias more sophisticated. Which brings us to the second big lie, the Dunning-Kruger effect. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger discovered something embarrassing about the human brain. People who know very little about a subject often think they know a lot, and as people learn more, their confidence usually drops because they start seeing complexities, they start noticing what they don't know. The beginner feels an expert, the expert feels like an student. Think about last time someone explained something with complete confidence and got almost everything wrong. Or think about something you were absolutely certain about before you learned more and found out that you were not completely right about that topic. And that's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you know, the easier certainty becomes because ignorance is simple. Knowledge is messy, knowledge introduces questions, creates doubts, and here's the uncomfortable part. You are not immune to this. Neither I am. Right now, there is something you are confidently wrong about, something you would defend, something you would argue about, something that feels completely obvious to you. You just don't know what it is. The third lie is the one that costs people the most. Literally, it's called the sunk cost fallacy. Here's the idea. Once you've invested time, money, or emotion into something, your brain lies to you and says quitting would mean it was all wasted. So you keep going, even when the evidence says stop. Casinos are built entirely on this psychology. The longer you play and lose, the harder it becomes to walk away. Your brain says, I have come too far. Economists call this irrational, your brain calls it loyalty. So let's put everything together. Three ways your brain lies to you every single day. 1. Confirmation bias. It filters reality to protect what you already believe. 2. The Dunning-Kruger effect. It makes you feel like an expert before you have earned it. 3. The sunk cost fallacy. It keeps you trapped in things you should have walked away from. None of this makes you broken, it makes you human. These aren't bugs, they were features that help our ancestors survive. They just don't always serve us well in modern life. The question I want to leave you with today: which one of these three quietly running your life right now? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.